interesting
I'd like to call to order the Superintendent's Information Committee of April 6th. We'll start with Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Leggett, can you take a roll call, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. I certainly do. Mrs. Issen.
Here.
Mr. Kachasik.
Here.
Dr. Koshko.
Here.
Mr. Leonard.
Here.
Mr. Newell.
Here.
Mr. Neiman.
Here.
Mr. Petrucci. Here. Mr. Stovar. Here. Dr. Trey.
Here.
Give quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Lego.
You're welcome.
Okay, we will start with special reports. IU number 7, Mr. Leonard, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, it's been a very busy month plus at the IU. The executive director, as I informed you before, had turned in a notice to be done with employment by August 2nd. At least to continue using the current intermediate unit has been approved by a split vote. 16-2, one abstained. I was one of the 2 no votes because concerns I had with how it was handled. A committee is forming to structure a new coalition of member school districts to potentially take over management or control of the Clairview under new guidelines. Don't know how that's going to shake out yet. I'll be watching and keep you posted. An interim executive director is under review with possible placement for potentially in mid-April, thereby allowing Dr. Matter to leave in mid-April. Search team is forming to carry out the efforts to select a new executive director. The position is currently advertised with more potential structural changes to the administration of the IU, and the budget is partially approved, but due to some large variables, more approvals pending, and more to come. That'll be it.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Libraries Legislative Council, Dr. Trey.
Yes, a few items, Mr. President. First pertains to the libraries. We're still in a concerted effort right now with some help of our historical committee of the community, and just getting involved in this process, plus through the permission of Dr. Harris. And I'll get to what the reason is for the project is in just a moment. And also from at least the Penn area library, and one of our, one of our librarians, Mrs. Chesky in the elementary, is a part of restoring from where we have records, historical records that are we have in a salt mine, to being brought back within the next couple months and being drawn out, and photographs and historical logs and albums and other things that have accumulated over the years, and put them to some good use in a historical perspective within our local library at Penn area and also here within the school. And we think that project is going well. The interest is there, and that project is going to take place, as I said, within a couple months. Will that idea also expand into to Trafford and possibly Manor if they have a contribution? Certainly that will be offered if they can draw back any historical documentation related to the history of this school district as a part of a permanent display that, again, may be centered within this building or distributed appropriately within the libraries in our community. That's all in the libraries. The Legislative Council, a couple of things. There is an advocacy meeting in Harrisburg and at PSBA headquarters on April 19th and 20th. That's the Sunday and Monday. The 19th, we're spending time with the heads of the education committees from our state assembly, and they're going to spend time going over where the hot items are related to the budget, what the practicality of that may be as far as joint operations and joint decision making and compromise, and where their priorities are. So that will be done along with some national, federal views. There's about right at this stage about 80 school board representatives from around the state of Pennsylvania joining this advocacy group. The following morning, we'll go into Harrisburg, and through our own legislators in our area, we know our reps are very, very approachable. Senator Ward, Representative Dunbar, and also Ivanovic. They're all going to allow time for me when I'm down there to visit with them, although they're going to be hard pressed to arrive. Some of them are driving that morning to get to Harrisburg to go right into session, but we're going to spend a little bit of time together. Plus, I've got to meet a few other area representatives over the years that are close to Allegheny County. I'll spend a few minutes with them, but I'm not the only one. Again, we have 80 school board reps throughout the state that are spending a little bit of time, particularly on that Monday morning, the 20th, just promoting on the issues that are important to us as a school board, not only in this area, but also throughout the state of Pennsylvania. Seems to be a pretty joint focus. We're all about on board about 95% of the time. So it's the first attempt at as a major effort, a major grouping, a major advocacy. I'll even have a t-shirt. I'll wear it to the May meeting. So it'll be a good thing. That's all I have at this time, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Trey. Career path, Mr. Creasy.
Thank you, Mr. President. The meeting we had was on March 18th, and number one topic we had again, and Dr. Harris is involved in this, and I hope he continues, as well as Mr. Lego, is the business manager. We had as you know, we have retirement. Our senior board secretary, she's been here 40 years, she's retiring. She's also our office manager. So now we're going to put both positions together, have office manager / business manager, the salary between $58,000 to $68,000, and she was making approximately $65,000 this year with benefits. So we went through the first round and didn't work out. So now we re-advertised, and the deadline was April 1st, and I don't know how many. I think they said how many.
We have 4. We're interviewing April 13th at 8 o'clock in the morning.
And then what they're coming in on April 15th is our meeting, and we're going to meet. We hope they pass 3 on to us. We're going to start our meeting at 5:30, and we're going to give every candidate a half hour, ask them the same exact questions like we do here at Penn Trafford. And then by the 7 o'clock meeting, we'll have an executive session, and we'll discuss the candidates, and we hope to hire at our meeting on the 15th. So I hope we get that all concluded. And Colleen, she's leaving us, I think, the 1st of May, so a new person, unless they have come from someplace else, we hope to have them working a few weeks with Colleen to learn a little bit of what she has done before. But right now she has all her vacation days built up, etc. So I don't know if she's going to be able to make them out. Anticipatory note, which I discussed with you last month also, about they want all the districts to prepay instead of waiting to the end. And I learned a long time ago in negotiations, you always wait to the very end to pay all the big bills off. Well, of the 9 school districts, 5 so far wanted to keep it that way. 2 said their business manager willing to pay ahead of time. I don't understand their logic in that, but that's exactly what they want to do. But right now, out of the 9, it's going to maintain the same as it did before. Cosmetology project is complete. Now the total project, we have to have a fire watch, and we call up the chief of police from the New Stanton Fire Company, volunteer fire company. He comes, and of course they do a fire watch, but there's nobody in the building. But now we have makeup days with all the snow we had this year in a cold winter, so we're going to have to delay that until the school's out. So that'll be in June. We're going to have the fire watch to pass the renovations should be, I hope, all done by the end of June. The boilers are working 100%, and I have a copy of the next year's budget. It went up 7% for us to $70-some thousand, I believe. I think on 73. I could be wrong on that. Brett, was that? I think that's right. 70, someplace around
For
there.
us, $5,000.
Yeah. And anyway, and the biggest reason for we had 3 new students. Penn Trafford goes from 70 to 73 kids next year, and of course, the bigger reason is the Peasers payment.
It's the Peasers plus a lot of the setting schools. They decreased in enrollment.
Yeah, they're going down.
So the cost per pupil went higher, even though we only added 3.
And the cost per pupil, the budget next year is $8.6 million, and the average cost per pupil is $6,100, which is pretty close to us right here. That's for half a day. Ours is approximately $12,000 a year, so it's very comparable in our expense cost. Let me see, real quick, now the goodie report. We had a turkey, chicken, and ham homemade croissants. We had the meat and cheese tray as an appetizer, all these trays appetizer also. And we had cream pies and variated cookies for our desserts. And our next meeting, I said, is March 15th. I hope to give you all the information on who our hirees are going to be and the new office slash business manager is going to be. That's all, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Petrucci. Actually, I wanted the Woody report from the Petrucci house yesterday, so.
Oh. We had the stuffed manicotti, we had frittata, we had the shells, my daughter made the eggplant, the stuffed eggplant, and we had the ham, and the desserts was the mud pie, of course, and the assorted cookies and 2 cakes. And you asked, but I just want to say something. Talk about a dedicated person, okay? As you know, Mr. Leonard and Mr. Nemick, our president, he's stepping forward, taking charge of negotiation, Act 93 again. And he asked me to come along, and I said, sure, he's an easy guy to work with. Some on my way home, my beeper goes off on my phone, okay? And I thought maybe one of the kids, I left something back at my daughter's house. I wasn't sure what was going on. So I wait till I get home, and it's a message from Mr. Nemick, okay? He's discussing things to present for Act 93. So I go upstairs and I'm watching the Final Four with the girls basketball, and I said, God bless you. I says, this is the first time on a religious holiday that I ever had to go discuss negotiation with anybody, but I talked to them about my feelings out. I think we should proceed and everything, but you know, this guy is so married to this position. I mean, I think that's great what you're doing. You're so dedicated, and hats off to you. I mean,
Well, you didn't have to reply.
I thought if I replied, being ignorant, but it was that was really nice of you. But I didn't help. We're going to go on today with it. But I just want to tell you, I never had a religious holiday where you had to do some discussing on negotiations. I was about to say that in executive session. But that's all I have, Mr. President, on that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Petrucci. Recreation Board, Penn Township. Phil?
No, Phil and Scott were out of town. I was in a meeting, he was out of town, actually, way out of town. So we'll have probably next month give you an update with both sessions, trainings.
All right, thank you. Trafford Borough, Mr. Petrucci.
Okay, I thought Pete turned it. No, it isn't. Okay. Trafford Borough, we met last Monday, which was March 29th, and as you know, we got refused on the Fairmont Playground. So Morris Knowles, even though they sent down 3 engineers to one small corner lot playground, they jumped their price from $30,000 down to $16,000 to make us more affordable. But we're going for a Commonwealth grant of 15%. It's a $120,000 project. It's the last playground. It's hard to believe a small borough like Trafford, we've got 6 playgrounds, but we got 6 playgrounds. Lower Green approximately maybe a little bigger in Trafford, really has only 1 playground. They're a little smarter than us, I think, but you have all these community playgrounds and people are used to use them, to take them out, you have all these mothers coming at you, you think it's not easy. Just like trying to close an elementary school. You're just taking something out of their community. Even though their community's a few blocks, they don't want to lose it. So anyway, we're going to put it in again and we'll get this done, $120,000. And Vince Seiko, the same one that's helping out here, he said, if you guys up your ante a little bit, he says, go like the 20 or 25%, there's a better chance of us getting it, because last year only 15% got it. And all communities are applying for this grant because it only pays 15%. The state takes it at 85%. That's a big increase. So because the auction was so successful, we're going to try Rose Flee's going to try, she squeeze a penny, make it a dime like she always does, and see if we can get a little more money, maybe put up to 20%, and see the possibility of getting that playground done. It'll take 3 years to complete. We should get it done. But that's that. Our fund balance is very healthy, $43,475.14. My friend Georgia Boring hit me with something coming in here earlier, but I can't discuss that right now because it had really nothing to do with, well, it does sort of with Trafford Recreation. The borough manager, the new one they hired at Trafford, I don't know, right now it doesn't look like that's going to work out. But you want to get the borough manager, because right now the new law that Governor Corbett signed in, all spending by all rec boards, even if it's not taxpayers' money, and our money is all from the auction, as you know, and the money the school district donates, $1,600 a year. It's that money there still has to be approved by Trafford Council, because all checks cannot be written anymore directly from the rec board to whoever the vendor is. They've got to go through the council chambers, and then of course then they can take it out of our balance, but we can no longer write checks because all the money because you have a few people, I guess, abused the rec board money and it was misspent. Okay, and our next meeting is going to be April the 27th. That's all I have, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Mr. Petrucci. Penn Borough, Trey.
No report at this time, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Trey. P-Tark.
Okay.
Mr. Petrucci.
Thank you, Mr. President. Real quick, if anybody wants to see the VOTEC budget, I have it right here. If anybody wants to look at it, take it home, read it, it's up to you. I'm glad
And
you-
Linda's also here for P-TARC as well tonight.
Okay, I'm going to turn this over to Linda Byers. She's our director. She took Cheryl Cameron's place. I asked Linda to come, and she's going to try to make it 2 or 3 times a year to present.
I don't know if my nerves can handle 2 or 3 times, but we'll give it a shot.
You pass one of those out to everybody, all the board
I
members.
brought a little packet. It has our activity guide. It has the annual report as well for those of you who do not come to the PTARC board meetings. If you would like to see the annual report, it's in there as well. Thank you, Mr. President and members of the board for having me. Again, I'm Linda Byers from Penn Trafford Recreation, the new recreation director. I've worked for PTARC as a program director for a combined 7 years. My focus for PTARC is community. I think we are a great community. I've lived and worked in Penn Trafford for 30 years, raised 3 kids through the Penn Trafford School District, and I believe in our community, and I want to include everybody in the community, and the school board, the municipalities, and PTARC. I think we can be a great team. For the 2015 Winter Spring program, I am pleased to tell you that we have over 1,175 participants at this time, which is about a 30% increase over last year. I'm very pleased with the numbers. We have a bunch of new programs. Men's basketball, we have 40 guys plus attending men's basketball. Adult volleyball, 25. Chili golf, 54. Our Red Cross swim instruction is again a strong program with almost 100 participants, and that's just for the first session. Archery at Trafford Sportsman's Club, we had 22 participants. T-Birds basketball, which was 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, we had 48 kids. Happy Feet Soccer is another program. We have almost 30 kids in that as well. So Aqua Zumba adult programs, they're doing just as well. Exercise programs, we have over 50 adults. Aqua Zumba, I believe I mentioned, we have 30 adults. Coming up for spring, we have junior golf, girls field hockey, tennis, and coming up in Penn is the Cinco de Mayo car cruise, and then the ever popular Dad and Daughter Night Out, which in December we had actually 180 participants for the Dad and Daughter Night Out. So I was very pleased with that too. If you notice in the activity guide, there is a plan on the front of it. That is the newly acquired from DCNR Penn Township Phase 2 project that will completely renovate the playground. We'll have a new Warrior Wonderland playground. I don't think it'll be the same name, but that'll be completely renovated. We are also adding sport courts, 3 sport courts. We'll have a sand volleyball court, a tennis court, and a basketball court as well, and in addition, another swing set area, and that is in conjunction with Penn Township and Penn Township Rec Board. That total project is $450,000. It's a 50% match from DCNR, although Penn Township had to put a little bit extra in for that. That would bring the total grants for PTARC and the surrounding municipalities to $1.4 million in the last 12 years. So quite pleased with the accomplishments that we've been able to work with the municipalities and the communities on in that as well. That being said, we are going to begin doing the playground inspections. I'm going to be working with Jim Bracco and Denny Garris on those. We're going to do a team effort and try to get your playgrounds.
Congratulations on passing that test.
He scored higher than me. We both went to Jeanette, but you know, I'll let him go. He's younger than me. Thank you, I appreciate it. It's not in any way, shape, or form an easy test. It really isn't, but muddled through. Also, I think Nick mentioned we are going to move forward with a DCED grant for Fairmont Park. We're going to work on getting those numbers updated and getting that in as well. If you would consider writing a letter of support to come from the school board or any of you individually, that would help as well. We really need letters of support from everyone that we can get in for this project. We really would like to try to get that done for them. The PTARC finances stand at a general account balance as of March 31st to be $68,907-ish. We're still, by May 1st, to receive the municipality contributions of 37 some odd dollars. So that'll make us a nice, healthy, somewhere in the vicinity of 105, putting us about $4,500 ahead so far this year. Again, back to the participation numbers, people seem to like the classes and programs that we're coming up with, and we'll continue to move forward with that with the summer program. Summer program will begin June 1st and last through August 31st. And then the fall program will begin right after that through December. So some new things for summer. We're given a couple different things to try. Plus we'll do the playground program. That'll run June 8th through July 31st. And it's pretty much the same format as we have in the past. There are also a couple of flyers in your packet. The Dad and Daughter Dinner Dance will be in the Manchester room April 24th from 6:30 to 8:30. The next thing in your packet, I believe, is a new thing that we're going to do for summer. It's a new old thing, actually. It is a casino trip. We're going to try a casino trip to Rocky Gap Casino in Maryland, give that a shot. And then also the Friends of PTARC, which is the fundraising arm of PTARC, raising funds for recreation and facilities now. They are doing the beer tasting social, which will be this Friday night. It's a nice fundraiser, and it does help parks and recreation in the Penn Trafford community. If you can attend, it should be a great event. And the information's on the flyer, or you can email me, and I can help you with that. Last but not least, I have our audit, which was completed, and we are fiscally sound. So, there you go. You get this?
Take it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Does anyone have any questions for Linda? She's just, how long have you actually been here? I know you took over for Cheryl as director, but you've been with us for?
7 years total. I was
7
here for
years.
5 years, gone for 5 years, and then back for 2 before Cheryl left.
So when she says they raised 1.2 million, she was part of that.
Yeah, I took the classes and programs from 15 classes and programs to right now we're currently running over 120 classes and programs and events. With obviously Cheryl's direction. She's very good at what she does and taught me a lot, and I really enjoy it. So.
First of all, very nice presentation. On Penn Township, it's 1.4 million, that's just for Penn Township.
No, that's combined. That's everyone. That's everyone.
What's Penn Township's long range plan? So don't they have a few more $1 million coming up? They want to do the one more phase. Yeah, is that
One more phase.
Yeah.
Yes, one more phase. They'd like to do the amphitheater and a few other things in the park. So there's one more phase. I would imagine that's upwards of, I haven't checked, 320, 380, somewhere around there. So.
We addressed the traffic situation in the park itself.
Lighting, some other things, yeah.
I'm interested in that. Yeah, I put one of those things down in BY. That's the next project after the Fairmont Playground.
The one in Irwin does well, and the one up at Twin Lakes obviously is outstanding, so, yes. Hey, I'm all about it. I can plan stuff for that too. Yep.
The only negative thing on there is that Irwin doesn't have keys
Problem like we do.
We have geese problems.
when you lay your blankets on the hill to listen to the concerts.
Yeah, we have a geese problem. We also have a little bit of vandalism problems too. But okay, okay, they're very
I'll
nice.
work on that for you. I'll bring my little 5-pound Shih Tzu out there. Maybe he'll take off after him. Thank you.
Very nice. That's all I have, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Mr. Trucy. PTCEF, Dr. Harris?
All right, I just have one thing. I want to thank actually Chris Foreman because he did a nice article for us for our foundation. And within the article, you actually asked for new members because our foundation, we had a couple people leaving our board. We're a small board, but we'd raised over $100,000, which we're proud of. And I went back to teacher grants, which actually supports the classroom. These are the things that are above and beyond what we generally apply. And thanks to the article, we had 3 people email and are anxious about taking the board seat. So our foundation's grown, so I do appreciate it. And George, I'm not sure if I saw it in your paper or not, but was it in your paper? I'd like to thank Georgia as well for putting it in her paper. I didn't want to exclude you because I just happened to read it that same day that one person called Chris, so I do appreciate it. And
Matt, are you able to comment on how much money you'll be distributing tomorrow?
tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we are going around to schools, and I believe it's $22,849.
Great.
So we did very well this past year with our EITC donations. we did the PT Got Talent that brought in some money, just United Way from our teachers. A lot of our teachers contribute to our foundation through the United Way, so their charities through us, so we get that back as well. So we're very pleased. We'll make some people happy tomorrow, we'll make some people angry that didn't get it. That's all I have, Mr. Newman.
All right, thank you, Dr. Harris. Tonight, prior to our meeting, we held an executive session in which we discussed personnel matters, legal matters, and we received information with regards to property. Information, Dr. Harris.
All right, first I want to start off by reading something, and then I'll call Jason up to introduce all the percussionists. The Penn Trafford High School Concert Percussion Ensemble performed their show Dystopia at the Winter Guard International Richmond Regional Championship on Saturday, March 14th. Our students became the Scholastic A Concert Percussion Richmond Regional Championships, a long title, with a score of 83.3, which ended up being the second highest score in their class throughout their entire country, behind only two Tomball High School from Tomball, Texas. They completed their season by earning their gold medal in the Scholastic A Concert Percussion class at the 2015 Three Rivers Winter Ensemble Association Championship that was held at California University of Pennsylvania on March 28th by scoring an 88.1. And at this time, I actually want to call up the instructors, Jason Gorda and Russ Rossi, to introduce the kids and to talk more about the event, because I'm just kind of just reading it off the paper. I think even more details. So Jason and Russ. Or maybe just Jason.
Oh, Mr. Cornelius, come on.
Oh, and Mr. Cornelius, please do it.
Come on.
I know Jason handles our percussionist.
Yes.
So I just want to start off by first thanking the board and all of the other parents who came out tonight with your support, and Mr. Cornelius' support really allowed us to go out to Richmond this past few weeks ago to be able to represent Penn Trafford School District so well. And with your support, that the kids were able to do so well and represent their school so very well. As you said, our show was entitled Dystopia. It was very, I guess you could say, a creepy show. It was kind of like a horror film soundtrack. All the kids were dressed up in black clothes, and they had cobwebs and chains that we put over all the instruments, and we had a nice floor, cobblestone floor that they performed on. They had a ton of fun working all year, a few months working on the show. And I just want to take a moment especially and congratulate the 4 seniors we have within the ensemble. Since this was their last performance with the ensemble. We'll start with over here on the right, Josh Brzezikowski, Aaron Schwader, Mara McElhaney, and where are you at? There you are, Josh Verheyen. All right, so I just really want to congratulate. I just hope that we can keep working together in the future to really put these kids out there, again, to travel to Virginia, to represent the school, and to make a great name for themselves.
Introduce them all. Introduce everybody.
Introduce everybody. All right. So,
No pressure.
no pressure. So we have here Sanjar.
How you doing?
Where's that? Sanjar was one of our great percussionists. He played a lot of the multi-percussion parts. Bradley Tantlinger here. These two were a duo. They worked together a lot, staying next to each other, playing a lot of parts together. I already introduced Josh Brzezikowski and Schwader. We have Dalton here. Dalton was our alto saxophone player, actually. Last year was his first year playing within the ensemble. Second year, he made tremendous leaps and bounds, learning a completely new instrument that he'd never played before. Speaking about another one of our converts, we have Emily here. Emily plays the flute, and actually Dalton and Emily both played vibraphone together, and a great second year. Again, both of them, this was their second year within the ensemble. And Kelly. Kelly, again, this past year, she was also one of the flute players within the marching band that joined the front ensemble last year to play marimba, and again, has just made tremendous leaps and bounds and has become a fantastic player. Josh played our timpani this year, the big old drums in the back corner. He's made great success since his freshman year. One of our seniors and this, one of the section leaders from the ensemble. And we have John, brother of Josh. Actually never played an instrument ever before. Excuse me, Kelly. Never played an instrument ever before. First year ever. Came in, we taught him how to read music, how to play, and did fantastic. Taylor played a lot of the bass drum parts. Great player. Carrie, bells, the little tiny.
You're forgetting one.
Oh, and xylophone. That's right. Yes, bells and xylophone. And last but not least, all the way in the back, we have Kaylin Morris, who again played piano with. I remember the first day I came in, I asked her, Kaylin, I hear you play piano. She said, a little bit. And I said, here's a piano part for you. And we worked all year to get her skills where they needed to be. And by the end of the year, she was playing great. So there's the ensemble, the percussion ensemble.
You made us very proud. It's always nice to have some good honors at Penn Trafford, so everybody appreciate it. And on behalf of the board, when we heard the announcement, we also saw it, I think, Georgia. I saw it in your paper. I'll give you credit for it tonight. Thank you for covering it. And we said we have to bring them in because it is a second in the country, which is just unbelievable. So, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dr. Harris and the board, thank you very much. I just wanted to, on Mr. Rossai's behalf, Russ actually designs highways and bridges, is his real job. And so I'm just wanted to convey his gratitude for recognizing the students. He's unfortunately working overtime tonight, or else he would be here. So he means no disrespect, and they're just a great group of students. Mr. Gorda has done an amazing job, and it means the world that you've invited the students here tonight to be recognized, and we are all truly grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Harris and board members. I'd like to bring up Coach Babick and Coach Martini and also Joe coming up here. I'd like to bring tonight to recognize, first and foremost, junior Joe Ferentz. He's a WPIL and PIAA state diving champion. And I'd like Mr. Babick and Mr. Martini are going to come up and give you a few of the highlights of what Joe's accomplished here this year. So, Mr. Babick.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for having us here this evening to recognize Joey. He's an outstanding young man. One of the things that maybe a lot of people don't realize is Joey just started diving when he was in 9th grade. He is now a junior, and there's nobody better than he is in the entire state of Pennsylvania. To put it in a little bit of perspective, on the walls in our natatorium, we have a 200-point club for kids that can score 200 points in diving. And Joey aspired to get onto that board. And he was able to achieve that, was it his freshman year or sophomore year? His sophomore year, just last year, he was able to finally get onto that 200-point board. This year, he scored 300 points, so we had to create a brand new board for him. And his high score in a dual meet was 395. So he is probably going to have a 400-point club. He was the Whitfield champion by far, smashing his opponents, and up at States, he won by over 80 points over the second place competitor. So in 3 years, Joey has really become the premier diver in the state of Pennsylvania after having very little experience. And it's a testimony to his dedication and his devotion to his sport. He lives diving, he breathes diving, and he has become excellent. And I also want to thank Coach Martini, who has guided him through this process. He is an excellent, excellent coach, and they've made this journey together, and they both made Penn Trafford very, very proud. And finally, I'd like to thank the board and the administration for the support through these years. Not all kids in Pennsylvania have a chance to be on a swim team, let alone a diving team. They don't have those kind of facilities. So your support of our program has meant a lot to us. So I'd like to thank the administration, the board, congratulate Joe, Mr. Martini, and his wonderful family that has been with him through all of this. And they were a great support system at Whitfield. And he had the biggest cheering section up at the state finals this year. So they deserve a lot of credit as well. So congratulations to Joe.
We'll have a banner for both his WPIL and PIWA championships will be hung in the gym next fall. And Joe is also going to be recognized at the Judge Driscoll banquet out at Lakeview at the end of the month. So congratulations, Joe, if you want to go that round.
What, ninth grade is when you started. What got you into diving then for the first time?
First time was in Mr. Babbitt's room. I had biology with him, and he just said, we need more divers. And I was like, why not? So I tried it, and then ended up I loved it.
Oh, you're a natural then, right? It's
Pretty good eye for talent.
Yes.
Was it bonus points involved, you know?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's great.
No pressure, but recap.
I'm sure there's people already looking at him.
Congratulations.
Oh, yes.
And he's only a junior. He was
Mr. Babbitt, have we ever had anybody else get a state championship in diving?
Excuse me?
Have we had any other state champions in diving?
Not in diving. That's our first ever diving state champion.
We've been a swimmers guy.
We've had some swimmer state champs.
You've had divers in WPL, but haven't you? I think you've had,
No, actually we
I
have.
thought you had one WPL too, okay.
We've had medalists before, but not champions.
So that's the first state.
Yeah, he's by far the best diver that we've ever had here. And he's only a junior, so he's setting himself up very well for next year. We'll see what happens.
Since you've been here, how many state champs have we had?
Joey makes our fourth in our program.
Pretty impressive.
Congratulations. Thanks.
Good job.
Thank you, and we understand if you want to go too, like I already say, you're always welcome to stay. They're packed already. Thank you so much.
George, you know, Mr. Babbitt also got his 500th win this year.
Yes,
Yeah,
We know
yeah,
that.
good year.
Next, we have, we give Mr. Inglaze to introduce Axis and Massera.
Okay, we have Massero and Axis Architecture here. From Massero, we have Dave Parker and Catherine Stock. Catherine's our new project manager, so Dave, don't know who's going to take the lead tonight, but Catherine's been learning the project and understanding and looking at the plans, working with Hank closely, but she'll be with us from here on out. Dave will be phasing out by the end of the week, and Catherine will be in charge. So I am happy to say that the project is going very smoothly. It's going actually a lot better the last couple of months, so things are going in the right direction. And Sarah's done a great job of keeping on top of things, working with Hank to make sure the project goes smooth. So thanks to both of you guys for that. I don't want to steal your thunder, but the auditorium's underway. The auditorium is ripped apart. Probably Monday after the musical, it started to go under, and the seats are outside. People were taking them, and I think that process is over. I think the seats are gone now. They're all in the dumpster. But we have a number of change orders to go through today, so you guys are going to go over that. We have about a little over $30,000 worth of change orders, but I'll let you guys discuss that. You know more about it. You can speak to that better than me. So go ahead, guys.
Sure. Do you want to touch base on some of the other construction update items, or just jump right into
Well,
change orders?
yeah.
You guys, everybody has a copy of the report.
Yeah, I gave them the report of this before, but let's review those a little bit more, Dave. As I said, the auditorium is underway. We have the second area, the biology area upstairs. 2 biology rooms are just about complete. We're waiting for casework, but those will be turned over to us probably in May. And the library is kind of a work in progress, and it's kind of neat. If anybody's been down that way, you'll see a lot of glass in the library area. We have a lot of independent study rooms with private rooms there where kids can collaborate and study. We think that's going to be a really nice area. It's the central focus point of the building. The skylight's done, so that will be ready to go in August. We also have the annex is well, about 75% complete. The weather's starting to cooperate now, so the annex is underway, and we hope to have that turned over to us November, December at the latest, if everything is on track and cooperating in time for our next basketball season. We started some renovations of the art rooms downstairs. Got some roughing in, metal studs and whatnot. Those will be turned over to us this summer as well. The LGI, brand new LGI room, which is across from the principal's office, that area right there is just got carpeted today. That will be our new boardroom. If the furniture is ready and shipped in time, we will have our next board meeting in that LGI room. We did have to make a slight change in there and add a steel pole in there to eliminate some of the obstruction, reduce the obstruction, I should say. But overall, the project is going very smoothly. So I don't know, is there anything else you guys want to add to? Feel free.
Just the last item on there, that the sidewalk's going to be kicking in again, as you said. Now that the weather's changing, we're starting to dry out again. Staff can get back on site and restart some of the site work. So, and one of the items you talked about, we're going to touch on, obviously, one of the changes.
Just everybody knows the summer, it's really going to start heating up now in terms of the renovation, because the weather's cooperating, and we'll be about 50%, maybe a little bit more than 50% of the project at the conclusion of this summer. So when the kids come back in August, there should be significant gains in the project and noticeable difference in the building. So we look forward to that.
And overall, we're still tracking on schedule, if not slightly ahead of schedule. So the schedule's still looking good.
That's right.
As far as the project, which is nice.
Yep, we're not behind.
Any questions on the construction updates? Okay, so I'll jump right in the change orders. As Scott said, we have about 8 items here. Kind of like the last meeting with you folks, since I came onto the project, there's some catch up for some items that have been on our books for a little while. So a number of these you've heard of before. They've been in discussion for some time, but I'm just going to go through the list. Like Scott said, the total we've got is $30,872.84 for this period. So it's primarily electrical contractor and general construction. So the first 4 items are electrical. Number 11 for Biter is the additional wireless access points. That's a total of $22,499, 63 additional wireless access points. And just stop me if anybody has any questions, otherwise I'll just read the list. Number 10, revision 2, this went back and forth a few times. This was to add some additional floor boxes for power and data in the pit area, that sunken area that's in the library, to accommodate the ability to have some soft seating moves, be able to change the seating layouts around in there. And that is $2,837. I think the initial one was $5,000 something, but a little bit of quick work back and forth with the IT folks and Scott came up with a alternate specification for that floor box, knock the cost down. We're trying to do those kinds of efforts on all these as we can. 13 is, this one was originally a time and materials amount, which I think Nate from Macero had presented to you folks as something we were going to track throughout the project. This is basically as we open a new phase of the work and expose above ceilings and behind the walls. The electricians were finding some items that they knew weren't going to meet the code for their final inspection, so they had to repair them. So we asked them to bring that work to date basically up to this point and close that out so that we could find out what that real number is rather than kind of holding a placeholder out there in the budget. So to date, that work sums up to $4,890. As we go through each phase going forward now, we're going to get with the electricians and kind of go through and get a quick list, find out what that scope is, and then just turn that into a change order for each phase as we go through.
If you remember,
again,
when
to kind
this,
of better track the work.
When this first came up, we were asked what would a ballpark number be for it. At first glance, we threw a number out of about $50,000 is what this would cost. After we got into it a little bit, more ceilings removed, and the electrician could see exactly what was going on, that number was reduced to a budget number of about $20,000. So of that $20,000, we've used just under $5,000.
Yep.
So we're still sitting good with the estimate on that.
So that's that one. On to number 9, revision 1. This is a credit to delete 2-inch conduits for fiber. So there was, in discussions with the administration and the IT folks, there was a reduction in the amount of fiber throughout the building. That fiber was specified to be run in hard pipe in conduit. So this is the conduit portion of that, and that actually totaled out to $11,540 credit to the project. And there's also another component of that which we just received today, which is going to be the actual fiber runs themselves that were deleted. So we're evaluating that. That'll be before you next meeting.
It'll be another credit next month.
Yeah. So the next one was the one that we talked about at J118. There was a large masonry pier, a little bit larger than this one right here, in the middle of that room, and in discussions with Scott, the ability to use that room for large meetings was kind of impacted by that. So the discussion was, can we do anything different? And the design that went back through Hank's office and his engineer was to put a much smaller steel column in there. And if you look at it, you'll see the difference in that space. So that was a great quick turnaround, and I appreciate everybody who was involved in that discussion to be able to complete that on time so that it could be sequenced with the work instead of maybe having to come back and try to do that later, which would have been more expensive and more complicated. I think it makes a big difference to the room myself. That total was $4,619.59, and then that was for low bar. Sorry, that was general construction. Also for low bar, number 45, modify the tennis court fencing and paving. This was one that was a follow-up to some earlier changes where Hank had pointed out that we weren't getting full credit back to the project on a number of items. So these 3 items totaled up to an additional credit, which we finally got for $4,693.68. Also low bar in that area, 27, their 27 revision 1 was to add a chain link fence to the top of that retaining wall for safety because it's pretty good fall hazard there. I think it's about 10, 11 foot drop there. That was $7,216.25. The number 34, revision 1, was also in that same area. There was a stormwater pipe connecting some existing inlets on the edge of that parking lot. During the excavation, it was discovered it was not where it was anticipated to be by the engineers, and this basically is the work to repair and replace that. And it also included an opportunity to go back to the engineer and upsize the pipe in there, which hopefully will relieve some potential stormwater concerns with the edge of that parking lot over top of that retaining wall, so help better manage the stormwater there. So that total is $5,044.68.
This is the one that's backed by the new tennis courts. It's in that parking lot that's back there, and the survey showed the 2 inlets at the back of the parking lot being tied underneath the parking lot with a pipe. When the contractors dug for the retaining wall, they exposed that pipe. It was actually had run outside of the parking lot and into the overdig area. It had to be removed to install the retaining wall, so something had to be put back in.
So any specific questions on the change order items? Anybody? Okay. Any other questions on, Scott, do you want me to go through the rest of this? Or
Contingency update?
Sorry?
Contingency update?
Yeah, so the contingency update, we have 4 items on that. The total contingency, again, is $1,276,333. Our change orders to date. Yeah. So I think our change orders to date number, I'll have to double check that. I think we went through a brief flurry of activity between Wednesday and today to update 2 of those numbers, and I believe that number's incorrect. So I'm gonna have to give you the correct number. It's not 256, but it's right. It's thereabouts, but that doesn't. It's slightly off.
Bottom line is about 830?
Bottom line is right about there. Yeah, it's within a couple of thousand. So still a substantial amount of contingency. Like Scott said, you're coming into this summer. There's a lot of work going on. It's going to get very busy coming out of this. About halfway through the project, the risk is generally decreasing as we've gotten out of the ground pretty much everywhere we need to get out of the ground. We've exposed a lot of interior space. Now the auditorium's the next big, exposure area. So I think the risk is generally declining as we see it, and that's a comfortable contingency at this point. So
just a note: the sanitary repair did finish up last week. Wilson Excavating did that project, so they did complete it. So that the sewage issue that we had is resolved in that particular area. We still need to do the second phase of it, so we can put that out to bid very soon, get prices and start that work. Probably this summer we'll probably get that rolling.
Yeah, and that is also, the money for that is coming out of the contingency from this project.
Yeah, we have it listed on there too. Yeah, that's that third item on the report, on your breakdown. And then the applications for payment for this month are listed below. Yep.
Thank you.
Anything else? Well, I just want to thank you all for the opportunity to work with you. It's been a pleasure to be here, and thanks, Scott, for everything.
Great job of running the project in the interim, and appreciate everything he's done. A lot of knowledge and expertise that he's provided has been invaluable, and we're now in good hands with Catherine.
That's where I was going next. I think you guys will be in very good hands.
And he's not disappearing, so I know.
Yeah, I'm not that far away. And I would say too, just I've appreciated. I think there's been some challenges with communication, different times over the course of the project to date. But I really appreciate the effort that Hank and his team and his office have made here to really try to streamline the process of communicating on these issues. So I think more positive workflow going forward. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks very much.
At this time, we will move on to recognition of visitors. The following rules are in effect. You must state your name, address, and group affiliation, if any. Your statement will be limited to 5 minutes in duration. All statements shall be directed to the president, and no participant may address or question a board member individually. I may interrupt your statement if your statement is too lengthy, personally direct, abusive, obscene, or irrelevant. And we have one resident signed up tonight, Dan Maggery.
My name is Dan Maggery. I'm from Sunrise Estates, the father of a former basketball player. My son graduated from Penn Trafford in 2011. While here, he played football for 4 years, basketball for 4 years, and baseball for 4 years, and he never quit a team. Ryan Urosic made it clear from day one the principles of expected of all of his players: come to practice, be on time, work hard, listen, ask questions when needed, and ultimately carry yourself in a first-class manner. He taught them work ethic, toughness, and morals. He preached an understanding of what is right and what is wrong is wrong. During his 7 years as the head coach of the basketball programs, he never once embarrassed this school district, his program, his players, or himself. My son spent 4 years with Coach Urosic. As a parent, I am grateful for that. As a parent, I can tell you that I have no idea how many games they won or lost, nor do I really care. To measure a coach's success and failure by the number of wins and losses he attains when the coach is dealing with players 18 or younger is reckless and unfair. I would publicly like to thank Ryan Urosic on behalf of myself, my son, and also on behalf of all the players and their parents who over the past 7 years have made getting this program back to being relevant. As this board is well aware of by now, Coach Urosic was accused in January of bullying a player or player on this year's team. as evidenced by the father who spoke to this board 5 weeks ago regarding his young daughter's fear of attending school every day. There is without question a real problem of bullying in our schools. It is difficult to put in the same category a young little girl who is scared to attend school and a 17 or 18-year-old boy upset with his playing time by his basketball coach, but these are the times we live in. As a board, it falls to you and the district's administration to listen to the accounts of alleged bullying cases. It also is your responsibility to find solutions. Based on the dismissal of Coach Yurosik 3 months after being accused of bullying and the persistent complaining of the way he ran his program by a handful of unhappy parents, it would seem obvious that you would be open to input to stop such behavior moving forward. In a very detailed email sent to this board 5 weeks ago by one of the disgruntled parents, some very alarming statistical evidence was given about the 7-year tenure of Coach Yurosik. It was pointed out that the marching band, with many more participants than the basketball team, had a much lower rate of kids quitting than the basketball team. The statistics were eye-opening, to say the least. The solutions to these problems are simple. Compare an athletic team to the band. It's now time to be like the band. To keep parents of future basketball players happy, I would press this board to have in place by next fall a no-cut policy. Any boy in grades 9 through 12 that wishes to play varsity basketball will have that opportunity. Without the embarrassment of being cut, I would expect heightened interest, and it is possible we could need up to 40 or 50 uniforms, both home and away. I would ask this board to petition the WPIAL that beginning in 2015, we here at Penn Trafford would like all of our players to play at once. Playing just 5 at a time has caused undue mental anguish and depression for those having to watch other people play. It was also pointed out in the email on this board that just how successful the 5th, 6th, and 7th grade travel programs are, only to get to the high school where success does not come close in comparison. That's an excellent point. Moving forward, it's time to adopt some of the principles of these travel programs. This board must consider a policy beginning in 2015 that all players play an equal amount of minutes per game. 40 players playing equal minutes is complicated, but very doable. In these travel programs, the coaches are usually the dads of the players. To be sure all players are enjoying their basketball experience, I recommend that new seating be installed at both home and away games directly behind the bench for parents only. That would cut down on any favoritism and bullying as well. I'll close my remarks with a personal story. During the school year 2009 and 2010, I personally donated to your football program $1,000 worth of apparel. I donated to your basketball program $1,000 worth of apparel, and I donated $1,000 worth of apparel to your baseball program. For that, not one administrator, not one parent, not one player took the time to thank me. One coach, your ex-basketball coach, called me right away to thank me. Great to know that at least one person up here got it right. It falls to this board to now find a new basketball coach. Hopefully some very qualified candidates are available and interested, but please do not waste their time if you feel they will not get through the rigorous parent interview portion of the hiring process. Thank you for your time.
Okay, Dr. Harris,
Next week for athletics and extracurricular, we're going to ask you to accept resignations, approve the opening of assistant soccer coach position due to resignation, approve volunteer coaches, and we have one on the agenda for tonight, and it's Dr. Koshko.
Thank you, Matt. Move to approve the opening of the head boys varsity basketball coach position and 2 assistant boys varsity basketball coach positions at Penn Trafford High School.
Motion by Dr. Koshko.
Second.
Seconded by Dallas Leonard.
Question.
I have a comment, Mr. Bills.
Yes, go ahead, Dr. Gregg.
Yes, this comment reflects with the approval of the board or administration or athletic director, pertains to the vote we're about to take. We would like to say that Ryan is a very good man. He's a respected teacher and a role model. His character is not questioned in any way. The vote we're about to take is merely a step to raise the boys basketball program to a higher level. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Ferry. What question? Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carried.
Next week, under Budget and Finance, we're going to ask you to approve the expenditures related to the high school renovation according to the schedule. Award the WIU 7 bid as recommended by the Joint Purchasing Consortium. Approve the WIU 7 general operating budget for 2015 and 2016. And we have another action item, but before that, we have an actual presentation from our bond representatives, Brett.
Well, I don't know how much of a presentation, but we have Mr. Chris Brewer here, our bond counsel, and Mr. Tony Massidi, our financial advisor. They'll give you a brief update of where we're at. This is the final piece of the borrowing of the $32 million for the high school renovation project. You know, we've tiered it over several years to take advantage of bank qualified rates, and we'll make a motion tonight to be able to initiate that last piece. But I will turn it over to them for any brief comments or updates.
My comments as bond counsel are what you said. This is the last piece of financing. When we were with you last month, you asked us to get this prepared for you. And to make it speak a little bit about the market and so forth, this document that you have before you tonight, the bond resolution, which has been reviewed by your solicitor, Mr. Lego, is in standard form. It would approve up to $6 million for that last piece. I don't think we expect to get to that number, but as we've described before, these issues are always sort of cushioned to allow movements and rates and other structural issues to allow the best to just saying that this is going to get that last piece of the financing in place, and the $6 million is not the number we would expect to see you borrowing for that last piece, but this structure and that amount is, as we've done in the past, larger than necessary, so that when Tony goes to go to the market, get the final interest rates, and structure this transaction, it'll fit within all your parameters. So that gives him that flexibility. So we're ready to hear more for questions than a formal presentation.
I'll just provide the board with a brief update from our last visit. The market still remains very favorable. As I explained to Brett a little bit earlier this evening, while if you watch in particular the 10-year U.S. Treasury on the news at night, if any financial scrolls on the bottom of the screen, you'll see that number's been quite volatile, anywhere from in January, late January, we saw that number dip down to about a 165, climb all the way up as high as a 220. And with each subsequent news report, basically that's the market looking for a definitive direction in the interest rate environment. And we just haven't gotten there. And right now we sit at a 190. On Friday, the rates actually dipped as low as a 185. And all that really is being born of the unemployment reports, in particular the non-farm payroll reports. So with those disappointing numbers, and while we all want to see our economy pick up and spark and get on its feet completely, when you're borrowing money, it's actually quite contrarian. So any news of a market that's sputtering globally in the U.S. actually spells good news for those that are looking to borrow, and that's where we're at right now, with basically overall interest rates still hovering at or near the historic lows. And that means that you've timed your issuance well, and as we proceed here to borrow the final piece, again estimated to be in the slightly over $4 million range to complete the remainder of the project, you're right on track to keep that history of borrowing it at market lows intact. And I'll knock a large piece of wood as I say that, but again, we'll know that as we get closer. The district is about to go in front of the rating agencies for this last issuance, and once that's in place, we can prepare all the final documentation to go into market, and we look to have this locked in place most likely, I would say by the end of April, first week of May would be the time that we would schedule for the pricing and lock in those rates. And any questions, we are available.
Bring our total figure to
that. That's going to bring you to $32 million for total projects.
And that, the rate has stayed almost identical, the first bar and almost identical rate?
It's fluctuated a little bit, but this one will actually be very much in line with where you borrowed last fall with that borrowing, the 2014 piece. Rates have moved north of that and have basically eked their way back down. They've gone up a little bit, come back down, gone up, and then come back. So basically, you'll be on par with where you were with the 2014 borrowing, plus or minus, when we enter the market officially.
Anything else?
Action item for Bill under go to tab 2.
Move to authorize incurring of non-electoral debt by the issuance of general obligation bonds in aggregate principal amount not to exceed $6 million as presented to the board.
Second.
Second by Bruce. Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
Mr. President.
Thank you.
Next week, under Buildings, Grounds and Safety, Employee Relations, Negotiation, Transportation, and Food Service, we won't have any action items. Next week, under Personnel and Curriculum, to approve substitute teachers and support personnel. Authorize Act 80 days for 2015-2016. Approve revised school calendar for 2014-2015 due to the March 5th snow day. Accept resignations, employee personnel, approve conference requests, and approve leave requests. Under Policy, Public Relations, Legislative Title II, accept and file Information Committee meeting minutes on March 2nd, 2015. Under Taxes, Insurance, Census, to appoint Berkenheimer Tax Administrator as per capita and delinquent tax collector.
And that is all for the evening. I'd like to call adjournment at 8:08.
Act 90.